I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was worthless. I thought there was, nothing good about my physical stature. So, that just sparked me to want a change, and nobody would do that for me. So I had to do that myself.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Riverhawk podcast, where we interview and tell some amazing community stories happening here at CA. Today, I have a special guest with us, aka Matthew Carle, and we're gonna talk and dig deep into his 100-pound weight loss in a year span. Amazing. So let's start it off. Matthew, welcome in. Introduce yourself.
I'm Matthew Carle. I'm a student here at CA. I'm a junior, and I'm here to just start my future.
Awesome, awesome. That's what everybody comes to school for, right?
Yeah,
Is to
man.
start their
Yeah.
future. So, let me ask you, what ignited you to, want to lose weight, want to better your health, what ignited that within you?
I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was worthless. I thought there was, nothing good about my physical stature. So, that just sparked me to want a change, and nobody would do that for me. So I had to do that myself.
I see. That's awesome. Yeah, in life, different things, different challenges will come about your way, and then a lot of times it's up to you to take action, right? So
yeah.
You took action, and it's been successful.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case, right? So tell us a little bit about the timeline, right? When you decided to make the change, take the challenge in, what you ran into. Tell us a little bit about that process for you.
Yeah. All right. So September 2022, I was coming in for my sophomore year. Mm-hmm. I was at my biggest ever. I was 310 pounds. I was big. I looked like just a ball. And here at the fitness center, we had Miss Fitz come in, and she was brand new. She ran the fitness center, so it was open. It was open a lot, and it was open to the students. So I decided to, join that. She taught me a lot. I found out what worked for me, mm-hmm. which was HIIT training, a lot of it, mm-hmm. at the beginning especially. And, then wrestling, and I got into that very tough training and mm-hmm. vigorous training. I'm like, this works, because I lost 10 pounds in 1 week doing that.
Wow.
And then, I started intensifying my own training, and the pounds just started rolling off. By the end of the school year, in 2023, June 2023, I had lost like 60 pounds or something. I was in the 240s by then.
Wow.
Over the summer, I went to the gym, I'd say about every day. And then I went on vacation. I walked like 6 miles every day.
Wow.
I came back to school, and I was 200 pounds. I was changed.
So the availability of the facility, the resource, and then the individual there, which, speaking of, we have Miss FitzGerald, right?
Yeah.
And so, how has she been a part of your process? What impact has she made?
She's basically been everything with it. Like, she taught me, what training to do to lose, body fat, what training to do to gain muscle. And she introduced me to HIIT training. I've heard of it before, but she, showed me a schedule of what to do. Like, she gave me a workout. It was vigorous at first, but then I started to get really, good at it. And then she's like, all right, let's up the ante. So she was with me step by step through the whole process.
He was trying to lose weight. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know whether he tells you or not. It's funny, especially in the beginning. How does he tell you what he wants to do? He used sign language. My name is Patricia FitzGerald, a good Irish girl, and I'm the fitness center coordinator here at the school. I live here. This is my office. I'm here 9 to 5 every day. I also kind of assist the physical education department because it's an option for students who are in phys ed class, as well as available to all students during a study hall lunch or any other free time that they might have, assuming they get a pass, as well as middle school. So we're available to 7th graders up through 12th. he made his goals aware to me pretty early on. I think, maybe he had indicated that he was also going to the Y. He was doing a lot of cardiovascular work. So, in my approach, my process, which is sort of talking to the student or a client or anybody, because I need to know what you're trying to accomplish, he was very forthcoming with what he was trying to do, why he was spending so much time in there, and his success up to that point. So that opened the conversation up to different protocols of training, as long as it was going to serve that objective, which was continue on this track of weight loss. Matthew and I really assisted each other because, it's easy as a trainer to not be that active when you're trying to teach people. And so because of his enthusiasm, I steered him towards HIIT training, high intensity interval training, which would get him sort of away from strictly cardio into strength training, but also you have to sell someone on that. They need that energy, right? They need that high, whether caloric or energy burn. And I enjoy training like that. So, that was, I think that was sort of the nature of our project, was demonstrating, but also, maybe it was a little self-serving, I should be honest. The takeaway from Matthew's story is commitment, like stubbornness. That's what I have to call it. But really, it's not stubborn in the way that we think about it. It's just this idea that, this is what I want and I'm going to do it. I don't even know if he's aware of that unique quality, or that is a unique quality. But that's what it takes, is just this mindset. And I don't know if it was a switch with him or if it was sort of a process, but he got to where he was, which as a young person, we know the metabolism, there's so many reasons, so it happens, but he made an absolute determination that he was going to do whatever it took, and he did. I saw it. He came in here more than any other student, consistently acting on his future projection of where he wanted to be, and he learned as he went. So, it's difficult, I get it, it's a very complex process, but that's what it takes, is that commitment to yourself, to better yourself. And I want to add this caveat that he and I have had many conversations, in passing in the context of being in the fitness center, about that being an important part, but you have to be getting yourself physically fit so you can serve yourself and eventually serve others. So I tell him all the time, this story needs to be shared, because there are millions of people who are struggling with this situation, and you are in real time, an inspiration to people, and appreciate that as a gift. He will appreciate it more as he gets older, but his story needs to be heard. Okay. So to duplicate what we're seeing here, right? What we're demonstrating, the story that we're telling with a Matthew, is realizing, looking at every single student and seeing the potential, like immense potential in them as a human being, and recognizing that part of human development is physical. It 100% has to be. And we have, I think, a very narrow path when it comes to athletic programs and phys ed. We need to open that up and realize that every student has physical, fitness, and athletic potential. Everyone's an athlete. I don't care who you are. And they may not be able to manifest that on a team that the school provides, so we have to have a program running parallel to figure out how to find that athleticism in them. Because it is nothing more than physical and neurological development, right? Neuromuscular. Everybody has those systems. What we know scientifically is what that can open up for a person in terms of their intellect and learning what they can do in life, right? We know that physical fitness and exercise is 100% related to and correlated to intellectual capacity. Right? So we have to stop looking at it as like, PE and getting them to run around, and then sports is over here for kids who any number of reasons were supported in that way. And we have to figure out how to make the non-athlete a new kind of athlete. You're just a different kind of athlete. So I don't have the answer, but we are lucky here at this school to have a board and have, administration here who said this is an important part. We need somebody in here all the time. So students can find that, and this is a perfect example. And Matthew's a great example, but he's not the only one. So, there's a lot of stories to tell, and if you run out of stories, please come, because I have a long list. But, Matthew is definitely a prime example. We should all keep our radar open for that opportunity to have an impact on anybody else, but especially young people, right? So for me, this is the way I do it. I do it in here and say, you know what, look, I just proved to you how awesome you are, right? You just lifted that, you just did that, and now you're back to do it again today. I'm telling you right now, right? So if that's what I can bring, then I have an obligation to do that. So I think if we all just keep our radar open to, what is your obligation to serve, right?
All right, you came in, you saw the facility was open, you're doing your thing, you came across an individual who was able to show you how to elevate what you're doing in order to go towards your goal. And next thing you know, you go through a semester, you go through a summer, and you've lost 60 of those 100 pounds, right? And so, throughout that process, just what was the hardest part of this process so far?
Keeping my mindset 100%. Once it started working, I was like, oh, let's go. This will work. I mean, once you hit a block or it gets tough, your mindset tells you to quit, but nah, you got to keep to it. And
Gotcha.
I think that's what's different about me compared to some other people who might be struggling more. The whole time I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. Nothing's gonna stop me. Like immediately I stopped eating, trashy foods. I immediately went to my chicken. And my mindset was clear the whole time on what I wanted.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, a lot of times we think that the food is gonna be the hardest part, but really it's mental,
Absolutely.
right? Because mentally you have to push yourself to go in there, do the workout. Mentally you have to push yourself to drink more water. Mentally you have to push yourself to eat the right thing. So I'm glad to hear that perspective from you, that it starts with the mind, it starts with determination.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad to hear that. And really, what you're saying is that was the hardest part, to get yourself there mentally.
Keeping the mindset.
And to keep the mindset. There you go, right? Sometimes we're motivated to get started. It might last a week, it might last 2.
Exactly.
Even when you're studying and you have an important, maybe say Regents exam coming up, you might have that ignition week 1 or 2, but really I might need 6 to 8 weeks of intense studying to get there. So I'm glad to hear that perspective from you. So what activities in the school helped you stay consistent?
Again, the fitness center, 100%. Gym class, I'd go there. So I'd have that one-on-one with Miss Fitz every day. She'd, help me. And then the wrestling team as well. I joined that for a couple weeks, saw, the vigorous workouts that they do and how easy it was doing that to lose weight and get strong. I didn't like the thought of competing, so I ended up quitting, but I kept vigorous workouts it's like a tool in my toolbox on what to do. And those two especially.
Gotcha.
Me, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome. Mentality, then obviously time, right? Things take time.
Yeah.
And then you speak about your tools, right? Having a toolkit, having the things you need that can help you kind of continue to progress forward. So, speaking of tools, did everything you try work out, or was it some trial and error?
There was trial and error, 100%. Before wrestling, really, I was stuck at a plateau. I'd lost maybe 10 pounds in 3 months. And again, that might be one reason that people quit their transformation.
Plateaus.
Exactly.
Right.
But for me, I'm like, okay, I'll try harder.
Okay. Yeah.
Made me even more angry to get there.
Yeah. No, plateaus are a classic thing that happens in any fitness goal. It doesn't necessarily have to be weight loss. It can be weight gain. Plateaus happen, right? Even in the classroom, right? Plateaus happen. And that's where you can be deterred and quit, or that's where you can say, hey, what adjustments do I need to make? So from what I'm hearing, not everything worked, but with the things that did work, you kept, and then you added some things down the line to what? To create that toolkit that you need to do what you have to do moving forward. So, what do your friends think about, your journey, what you've been doing? What were they saying while you were going through it?
At first, some of them were like, "You're crazy," because I've tried before and it hasn't worked. But a lot of my friends were proud of me, encouraging me to continue. I mean, they were just shocked. Like when I came into school this year, I was a different person, really. Yeah.
That's awesome. And they've been able to see that transformation. So I've seen myself. You go to the gym and do your thing. And do you feel like that's also igniting some inspiration and fire in them? Are they also maybe going to the gym, or tell me what that's been like?
I've been bringing a couple of my friends to the gym with me to start training. They're big, they're small, but they all want to get strong and look healthy. And I'm helping them on that way with the knowledge that I've gained from my transformation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So obviously you're in a school, right? You've done well, physical training, mental training. You've lost quite a bit of weight here. How is that impacting your work here at school?
I'd say it made it easier.
Really?
Because it's cliche to say, but the desks here are awfully small. And so when I was bigger, it was harder to fit in the desk. My stomach would literally touch the desk, and now it's it's far away from it.
Yeah.
So it's cliche, but I fit in the desks more. Can focus more. My mind is a little bit clearer.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say it helped me.
That's awesome. It's like sharp body, sharp mind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. If you're eating all the right things and feeding your body the right things, it can translate to the academic portion of things, and we're hearing it right from the horse's mouth. So, all in all, it seems like your journey isn't over, right? And so, what are you working on now, and what's to come for you?
I'm just trying to get stronger, become more physically capable in sports. I'd like to start getting into bodybuilding. Maybe even compete in a few years.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'd like to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like when you're on this journey, again, whether it's a fitness journey or an education journey or a professional development journey, you always have to put that carrot in front of you, right? Because if, let's say, you went in, you lost your 100+ pounds, and then you're like, okay, I'm done. And now what? You're stopping all the routine that you were doing. I like that you're keeping a goal in front of you, so you're always looking to do better, achieve better, and continue to implement what you have going on. So looks like you have some big things, ahead of you, right now. Overall, do you have any closing statements for us, for anyone that might be working and struggling through any sort of fitness goals of theirs? What are some closing statements that you have for us?
There are 3 things that will really help you get through your transformation, and that's just staying focused, knowing your goals, and keeping motivation. 100%. It's all up here. If you think you can do it, you will do it. If you think you won't, you'll fail. I mean, there will be tough spots in your transformation, but in your journey, but you just have to overcome that, really. And the toolbox I was talking about, that could be your friends, that could be your family. No transformation is easy alone.
Right.
Always have support with you.
That's awesome. And that's a beautiful way to encapsulate and end things, is that no transformation can be done alone. And within the transformation that you've gone through, you've had a community to help you with that, whether it's internally at the school, where between the wrestling and the coaches and Ms. FitzGerald and the fitness facility and your friends pushing you to keep going, and the staff, knowing that you're on this journey and encouraging you, the community is a big portion of that, because as an individual, you can only go so far. So that's a beautiful way to put it. Look forward to see what you continue to do moving forward, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, awesome.